Welcome back, nerds, comic book fans, everybody. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mo, of course, of BLERD FORCE 1, joined by Joe of Muscle in the Multiverse, and Polly of Comixed. We are just some comic fans, and we want to talk about this awesome new Fantastic Four First Steps trailer. In my opinion, it went off for a minute long thing. It kind of went off, but I definitely wanted to get Joe's opinion and Polly because she is, of course, the number one Reed Richards hater on the internet. I try to find a bigger hater. Only Doctor Doom would say that. So, y'all, let's talk about this. Let's give our opinion about what Marvel Studios is doing with the Fantastic Four. This is a huge thing for them this year. Last year was kind of whatever, but this year they're trying to get back on track. And of course, the multiverse saga is popping off. Fantastic Four is a big part of it. Kevin Feige has said that, and they're really kind of putting a lot of effort into this. And we've been wondering, are they going to get it right? Because Fantastic Four has kind of sucked up to this point. If it wasn't animated, it was pretty bad. So,
No, it wasn't pretty bad. It was either mediocre as the first attempt or whatever the second one was.
what about Fant Four Stick?
Well, that was the one I was talking about. That was so bad.
So, you guys, we got this trailer, and it's leaning hard into the retro futurism. And again, Joe, you right now you're going through the Fantastic Four as you're kind of leading up to the movie. Polly, you just did a big run through the comics, and I've read the essential Fantastic Four books. I got some on the shelf back there. We all have seen Silver Age a lot. How Silver Age is this to you guys? Like, is it hitting the right notes?
Yeah, absolutely. It is. I would say that it took all the elements that were important and essential to the story, and added some of the elements that were added along the way to make it the story that it should have been from the beginning. Well, at least that's what I hope is going on. But it definitely feels that way.
What do you say, Joe? Is it because
Yeah.
you're reading through that right now? Like, is it?
Yeah. Yeah, I would say so. I mean, it's very classic of those first run of Lee Kirby Fantastic Four comics. Obviously, we don't know much about the story, but everything seems to be lining up exactly right. And I mean, I think the biggest thing, and I'm sure we'll talk about this, but like literally the thing has been pulled off Kirby's comic pages.
No, absolutely.
And anyone who says otherwise can, I don't know,
kick rocks,
No.
literally.
Like, Reed, man, come on.
Hang out with Reed for all eternity.
I think they get the character right in terms of like how he's interacting with Herbie, which, by the way, I mean,
He hates Herbie.
well, but I mean, he and Herbie are kind of like, they're sitting up there, they're cooking, they're cooking, and he's just like critiquing.
Herbie's trying to poison him.
So that was a cute little interaction, which, by the way, I'm gonna say, between Herbie and Crypto, I mean, the merch is gonna be off the chain. Like, I need both. I need a plushie of Crypto, and I need a little, like, what are those little toys that you put the tape in and they would talk, the little robots from back in the 80s. I need one of them. But
I think that Herbie kind of looks like BD1 from the Star Wars games.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely are. The mascot, game is on point right here. I gotta say, but I think they get Ben Grimm pretty great. The whole fedora and the trench coat and like being sad about about how he looks, because we know Ben Grimm is like, he's just like, I'm the ever loving blue eyed thing, and everyone, why wouldn't they want to take pictures of me? Like, get a look at my mug. I love that, really. What about Reed, though? This is who this is directed at. You know who this is directed at?
Do we have to do that?
Ollie is so conflicted.
Immediately. Yeah, it's very weird. It's kind of, I see what they do in there. They're obviously leaning into that idea that he feels responsible and he feels guilty for what he's done to his family, and I feel like he's gonna be leaning into that, and he's gonna be like this sad, empathetic character instead of what he's supposed to be. And well, I don't know if we curse here on this channel.
Oh, you can. Oh, please do.
Reed Richards, son of a.
He's yeah.
Anyway, obviously he has to lie when he says that they do family dinner every week. I expect that he's lying because we know that Reed is not reliable like that. He won't be anywhere every week. That's not happening. And I figure that he's obviously going to be lying about fixing the thing and helping him. That's going to happen. I don't know what they're gonna do with him. They gonna take away. I think that they're gonna take away some of his more creepy qualities and the things that we really hate about him. So we'll see where it goes.
I mean, we hope so.
I feel like they go in with this. We have to feel sympathy towards him because he feels responsible and he actually feels guilt.
Right. Well,
which is not something he feels often in the comics.
He can't be too comic accurate because comics accurate Reed is an asshole. So like
Joe is reading right now all his first first mess ups. Those are terrible.
He of all the kind of Silver Age white dude heroes, he is the most paternalistically. Like he's the most paternalistic. He's the one that like I absolutely believe he would slap Sue to be like snap out of your hysteria, woman. Like that.
He's done that when she was Menace.
Yeah, he's definitely that guy. So, and then they get Pedro Pascal to play him, and I'm like, he's not that guy. How are you gonna make this happen? So they can't have.
I think he's a good actor, but I don't know if anyone can pull this out of themselves if it isn't in them. So they're gonna have to change Reed.
Yeah, I think I think they were gonna have to anyway, just because that isn't gonna fly. I don't care.
Nobody's worshiping
nobody's gonna like him
like that.
But this does kind of make you wonder, like, what's going on in this, right? Like, before we get away from the characters, I mean, Sue, she looks great. But even though it's odd, I don't think I ever actually envisioned Sue Storm like that. I think in my mind, I'm stuck on the later one where she has kids and she's more of a mom rather than, just, she's the mom. Obviously, she's the mom of the Fantastic Four itself because Ben and Johnny act like little boys all the time.
But there is one thing though. Sorry, but they did take her characterization from the later comics. Mm-hmm. That's not Sue in the early years. That's nothing like her. It's very noticeable. It's she not just because she's maternal in this, but because she is actually heard and seen, and she's talking and she's getting somewhere. I feel like when she talks, Reed actually listens.
Right.
So that's very different from Sue from the 60s.
I feel like they're almost like switching Reed and Sue's like character personalities from, say, like the original first run of the comics, because again, Sue is very much like we've put a female in here, and there's so many like cringy misogynistic takes because it was the 60s against her, and Reed is kind of like you had already mentioned, like the paternalistic kind of typical white guy back in the 60s with all of his privilege. And now
back in the 60s.
anyone who knows like Sue now in the more recent run, everyone knows, if you truly know, Sue is the most badass character in all of the Fantastic Four. Like, she will wreck anybody. Doesn't matter. And so I think they're almost like kind of reversing those roles in a way. Not to say that like Reed's going to be a pussy, but he's going to be kind of like what Polly said. He's going to be kind of down and out because he messed up.
A little bit torn inside and something like that.
Yeah.
Kind of a dramatic character. That's what I'm
They're
getting.
they're rehabbing the character at least, but they're still keeping the '60s aesthetic, which makes me wonder if. And I saw that this is based on speculation I saw on another channel, though they were talking about the trailer. The speculation that are these characters from this universe? Like, we know this is an alternate universe, right? We know that straight up. It clearly is, because like there's a Space Needle and shit in the middle of New York City, so we know it's a different universe. But the question is, are they from that universe? Because we know this is a multiversal adjacent thing, or could they have arrived from another universe and have replaced or come onto the scene here and essentially built up this world technologically? So maybe the characterization of Reed and Sue not being, 60s, madman esque, could be that they're actually from a modern era, from another universe, got stuck in this one and sort of use their influence to make things better. That would be an interesting.
I haven't seen that theory yet, but it makes sense because I noticed, like, immediately I noticed that Sue's hair doesn't look very 60s. First of all, yeah, the way it looks and the way his hair is styled, it's not 60s at all. But my initial thought was that maybe it's not exactly the 60s, but the world that developed with the retro futuristic style and look of everything. Or, yeah, it's entirely possible that they are, in fact, from another universe, and they just came over to save this one or help or whatever. But that would make, if they are from the like, not 616, I can't call it 616, but the MCU. If they are from the MCU, then they could have pulled something like what they did after Secret Wars. With convincing everyone that they're dead and like they never existed or whatever, and going to explore other worlds. Yeah, that could be the.
Yeah, I mean, this could very much be one of those situations where, they bring all their technology and everything, and they kind of build the quote ideal world that they're looking for.
Oh, that's horrible! It's Reed. I mean, it's Reed Richards building a utopia.
But if they
can you imagine what it's going to be like?
If they're from our time, the roles within the group are going to be more modern and everything. But also, there's also this possibility in my mind that maybe they are on the run from, or they were escaping Galactus, devouring their wherever, and they get to this place and they're like, we're gonna rebuild here, and then Galactus shows up there too. I think Galactus. I don't think Galactus. I honestly, I don't. I think Galactus is the villain, but I don't think he. I think he is also a framing device.
Galactus is never the villain. That's not what Galactus is.
Well, I mean, he is. He's a natural disaster that they have to try to deal with. Yeah, but
he's a scary thing. Yeah.
Have y'all heard the speculation that they are gonna lose, and that's the reason why they're gonna make it to the MCU?
I don't exactly buy that. I don't exactly buy that because, well, my what I would like to see is when they're leading up to Secret Wars, they could build the story from both sides, from the side of this universe and from the side of the main universe, and then create an incursion and do whatever. Because this universe, for all we know, this could be the same one where Monica got stuck or something. Could be different. We don't know that, but they could build that up from both sides, and that would be more interesting and have more impact, just like it happened in the comics with the Ultimate and 616.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it's very possible that they could lose, but kind of, I mean, what Polly just laid out would be way more interesting, especially if they build out this universe and then the other universe, and then somehow, I mean, I can't imagine what's going to happen when they start integrating X-Men. I mean, if people were this happy about this, people are going to flip.
Yeah, I get the impression that they're the only heroes in their universe, though. It just feels like it.
The thing that's interesting,
I don't know, like X-Men are hated, so if they exist there, they're probably hated there.
Yeah, I think the thing that's interesting is, like, it seems kind of like going along, potentially along what Mo was talking about earlier. Like, they're from a more modern era. and they're rebuilding this one. It'd be interesting because it seems like if they're doing that, they're clearly showing like the history of the Fantastic Four on these televisions that Ben was looking at, right? And in the comics, for at least, I don't know, maybe the first like 20 issues, people have no idea who the Fantastic Four are. They've heard of them, but there's a lot of like when you see the general public, they're like, the Fantastic Four, they're not real or whatever. And it's just like, and then clearly you could tell people know who they are. Like there was those little kids, they all had Fantastic Four merch on. Like they all had thing masks and shirts and all that kind of stuff. So everyone knows
But
who they are. And
kind of goes along with the narrative of the trailer itself.
It does.
Because it's rehashing the thing that, again, that Reed feels responsible, so he turned them into celebrities so they wouldn't feel like they lost out on their whole life, because he knows how people treat anyone who's different. So
yeah. I think it's interesting that, as you mentioned, like, you know, there's basically the space program that they participated in. It's interesting to me that there's a big apparatus to kind of, you know, get all that going, because in the comics, Stan acted like they could just randomly hop on a rocket and do whatever the hell they want. Nobody had to approve it. But in this one, it's clearly a governmental
like
program.
That,
yeah, no, like for
they
real.
They had a government program. They just snuck in and
they just did whatever. Yeah, exactly.
You know, at the same time, like it was 1961, and for the Soviet Union, it took like hundreds and hundreds of people to do that. It was poor guys. Well,
I love that well, obviously they're gonna fix it up so that, because we know, like, you can't just jump on a rocket. You can't even just jump on a plane. You can't just go randomly get on a plane. Like, but even this is Reed pre-stretchy brain Richard, so he may be smart. He ain't that smart. So I find all of that very interesting. Here's another thing we hadn't talked about. Who the hell is John Malkovich in this? With his long ass weird hair.
He was an actor.
He's got to be Red Ghost.
Yeah, someone said Red Ghost. I'm not familiar with Red Ghost. Let me
tell Red Ghost.
Who is he?
I read him recently. But he first appeared in issue 13. He's a Russian scientist, basically, in that issue. And for lack of a better term, both he and the Fantastic Four were going into space at the same time to get to the moon. And he trained these various monkeys to obey his commands. And he knew of the Fantastic Four, and he went into outer space with an unprotected rocket because he wanted to get hit with the cosmic rays, as well as his monkeys, so that they could all have the powers even greater than what are the Fantastic Four. So they end up being on the moon together, and they basically face off against each other. And that's also the first appearance, I believe, of the Watcher, because he intervenes with everything. And basically, Ivan Kragoff, or the Red Ghost, kind of gets too greedy, tries to take the Watcher's house, and the Watcher's like, hell no, we're not doing this. And then pretty much just ruins everything, essentially. But yeah, they also he has this weird like reversal ray gun, which is just classic comic book from the 60s.
A random ray gun, basically.
And I don't know if there is room for him in this movie. From what I've seen so far, I don't think there is, but okay, if that's him, that's him. He kind of looks like the Red Ghost. Yeah, he does. But we didn't see any monkeys. So I don't know what's going on. I also thought maybe he was supposed to be the Watcher, but he doesn't have the look.
No.
Even though we're supposed to actually encounter the Watcher.
That's Jeffrey Wright's role also, so I will not accept anyone who's not Jeffrey Wright. I think it's interesting, but also I want to say justice for Mole Man. When is Mole Man gonna get his due? Damn it, he is the first person that the Fantastic Four had to deal with, and he still no love at all for Mole Man. You know, one of these days,
I really envision that they would incorporate a few of these kind of like weird side villains, not really side, but like that they've encountered. They pretty much encounter a villain almost every issue, a different one for the most part, until they hit Doctor Doom and Namor, and then they
and then it's just Doctor Doom and Namor, Doctor Doom, Namor.
Yeah, but like you could have had some kind of weird thing interaction with Mole Man, right? You could have had a weird interaction with like the Wizard or Puppet Master.
Yeah.
I mean, supposedly, I mean, there's a lot of speculation.
Technically, yeah, has to be there.
I mean, a lot of people thought that John Malkovich was going to be Puppet Master because he's
doesn't have the look either.
Yeah, but Puppet Master doesn't have hair, so that kind of throws that off unless they give him a completely different look.
I mean, well, technically,
I don't think they're gonna do that.
Reed doesn't have this either, but
that's
Pedro
true.
Pascal was like, "Yeah, I ain't shaving this shit. Fuck that. I look too good with this." No.
Well, some versions of Reed do though.
Yeah, but those versions are always the ones that have fucked up bad, and they're just like haggard.
Yeah, it's usually when like Sue left him or like somebody died. That's his look.
You know when Reed don't shave, he don't even have to shave. He controls his he could just like make it go away. When he don't shave, some shit went down. He done messed up bad. So we haven't I guess we haven't really talked about Galactus. I mean, we've sort of talked around him. They're doing the real one. They're doing the the helmet with the horns and everything like that.
And that's all we've seen.
Yeah, I mean, we saw the back of his head, his big ass head. Did not
looks
see any,
great.
Yeah, and he's hovering. People, the weirdest damn I guess criticism of this thing is I don't understand people. They're like, he's too small. Why is he hovering over?
He can change his size.
I'm just like, y'all non-comics reading ass people, shut up. If Galactus wanted to stroll down Fifth Avenue, he would just be the size to do it. Y'all don't understand.
He'd be Galen again.
He could be bigger than he could be as big as the solar system if he wanted to be.
Yeah.
And also, here's the other thing that people don't understand. And I get it. If you don't read comics, you don't understand this. He looks the way he looks because of us. He doesn't actually look like that. Galactus looks like whatever. When he shows up on, what's the Kree home world? I think it was Kree Lorne, but whatever. Or not Kree. I was thinking about the scroll, the scroll home world, whatever. When he shows up in front of the scrolls, he got all of that right. If he shows up in front of Thanos, he has the chin, right? He's
same thing.
Yeah, he looks like whatever because he's not what you see. He's what your brain is making sense of something. So the dude's going to show up.
No, we could go into history of Galactus. It's a lot. It's fun.
But my favorite thing about it is he's not a swarm of whatever. He's not some weird swarm of whatever. He's a thing. Hopefully he'll be purple and he have the purple suit and everything, and he'll talk like, if they do it right. This is for me personally. He will speak in that ridiculous Stan Lee, Jack Kirby prose that looks like it's, and he's going to say thee and thou and all that shit. And then he'll do like this. He'll have his hand out like, you will bow at Galactus and come to me, my herald. If he does that, the rest of the movie could be whatever to me. If he does that and says to me, my herald, and Shalabal rolls out on her little board, I don't need anything else. I'm good.
Yeah.
If they do that, people are going to be so angry. They're like, why is he talking like this? It's so stupid.
And I'm just going to be like, you know what? This is why normies, y'all need to get out of here. I'm like, I love normies. I love y'all coming up in here, but don't act like y'all live here. Y'all act like y'all live here. We live here. Now we telling us how things are supposed to be.
Yeah. No, he has to be cheesy. He has to be this old timey. He has to be corny, big, purple, and scary.
Yeah,
because that's how it is. That's how he is, and we don't want another Cloud thing.
No one wants that.
No.
That's Ralph Ineson doing the voice. Hopefully he's doing the mocap and everything too. I would assume. I
feel like I know who that is, but
he was from Game of Thrones. I
don't know who that is.
But Ralph Ineson. He's got the voice and everything, so I think it's gonna be dope. So I mean, mainly my big thing about this is it's only a minute. It really is a teaser, right? We
Well,
get
you haven't been obviously you haven't been watching it like the stream for an hour before that.
Yeah, you didn't get told. You didn't get told like everyone else did.
Yeah. I was at
That
work.
was so mean.
I was at work, so none of that meant anything to me. But yeah, it's I get
I
it. Like
literally went on and like I
It
couldn't
was
get
educational.
the Marvel one, so I just went to like a streamer who was going to do it, and like every streamer's face was just like, "Shit, now we gotta sit here for an hour and
but
watch this fake rocket launch."
well, let me ask this for those streamers: how didn't you spend an hour doing what we're doing right now? Like because
I'm sure they did. I didn't watch.
I was thinking there was like that footage that was leaked from Comic-Con and everything. There's plenty to be talking about. And this one, there's none of that footage from Comic-Con. I don't think really made it into this at all. So this is
that
the
we've
stuff
seen.
we
I
haven't
don't know.
seen
I
before.
haven't seen it.
Yeah.
I actually intentionally didn't watch anything that was leaked because I wanted the whole experience, the full experience, and all the first looks to be the first looks that they want me to see, because I think that kind of matters.
Yeah. I think as far as for me, I'm satisfied with what's. I'm hyped. I should be.
Absolutely. I
the-
know that a lot of people complain that they didn't get to see Reed's superpower, which is very, very funny to me, because his superpower is not that he is stretchy, it's that he was standing in front of the board and solving some math bullshit.
Yeah.
That's his superpower. That's what he does most of the time. He doesn't often stand in the front line like stretching and being completely useless.
Well, he
It's not
turned.
that useful of a power.
He turns into shapes.
Sue and Ben are tanks. Like
Yeah.
John is the DPS. Reed is just in the back lines doing strategy and stuff.
Yeah, he turns into a parachute every now and then to catch everybody. So
Well, yeah, and he actually turned into something that was like with wheels. I remember that. You should remember.
He's turned into so many stupid things that it's
ridiculous.
He absolutely looked ridiculous. It was
I also think from like a viewpoint of like CGI aspect, they didn't
I want
want
to see that.
like, roll it out yet, and people will be like, "This is fucking terrible."
Yes.
It is really it's not just that it's a silly power. It's one that, like as you said, it could very easily look dumb, right? It's Stretch
like Reed.
Yeah, it's
himself.
Stretch Armstrong. It's yeah, he could be he could be Noodles or whatever. But I think you're right. I think they're probably figuring out the final touches on how to make that look right. So I'm fine with that. I don't honestly.
But they also showed the most important elements about all of these characters. Pretty much, they did that.
Yeah.
They showed that Ben is sad about his looks. They showed that Sue is holding all this crap together. They showed that Johnny is Johnny, and that's like he's freaking useless for them till I think 2020. He was absolutely useless. Then he did whatever it is he did with Doom's Bride, and he became even more useless. Actually gone negative in usefulness. But anyway, and Reed is feeling guilty and doing math. They showed us everything that we need to know about this team.
Yeah. And I think just design wise, it's awesome. I think the team at Marvel Studios, their production design is killer. And also I love kind of like at the opening bit when they're walking in, through their little home in the Baxter building. And you see like this, their kitchen looks like it's from the World's Fair 1964. So you get a little bit of that vibe, but also I felt a little WandaVision vibes there too. The first couple episodes of WandaVision. So, like I said, their production
the screen size though.
Yeah,
right? That kind of makes you think that they're gonna do some TV appearance. Like this was the first episode. I think it was the first episode of the cartoon of the animated show with my favorite theme song. the Fantastic Four
Mhm.
from the 90s. And it started with the TV appearance where they were talking about how they turned into superheroes and
Right.
stuff like that. And I think they're going to do something similar in the style, because that is probably the best way to introduce them, and they have a lot of footage that they want to show, definitely like the background.
Mhm.
So maybe they're going to do something like that. It does feel like a TV appearance for them,
Yeah. Well, I know
like within universe.
I feel like I saw either some kind of still or something of Ben being on like the dating game or something like that. Am I imagining this?
I've not seen
It
that.
feel if they did that, that'd be hilarious and very true to the
I think I've
character.
seen so much stuff,
That
and
would be
I don't
really
know.
cool. But also, I love the right stuff. You know, like the behind the scenes when they're getting ready to become astronauts or whatever. This is clearly a different world because they're not picking astronauts based on like I don't know physical fitness and competency and all. No, they're picking it because Reed Richards said, "I want my folks to go with me." We all,
Well, we
obviously,
don't know that. We don't know what any of them
yeah.
do, though.
Well,
We
I
know
mean,
that Ben is a pilot, and technically he is the only one who should be there.
Johnny Storm
Well,
is his qualifications are.
well, technically, again, he got trained to be a pilot. So yeah,
Yeah,
okay. Well, in the comics, so yeah, okay, he probably can be there too at 16 or whatever.
yeah,
Because
sure,
he's
sure,
supposed to be a
sure.
teenager, right? And then this random lady that Reed is dating, and Reed
I
himself for
mean,
some reason.
I do
Okay, why
like
not?
I do like the later versions of it where they make it clear that Sue is, very accomplished. So like she's not just there
In what?
because well, and isn't she like a scientist later on or something? No,
He's an
like
No.
really.
archaeologist.
Well, honestly, at this point, right now, no, she's not. Like, I haven't read the North
Oh, so she's
run yet,
just
but I don't know. She went to college. There she met Reed, and then I have no idea what she's been up to.
well,
I
clearly
haven't read Life
I'm
Story yet, so
yeah. I mean, she's a
Life
woman.
story though is
Yeah.
completely off, like not canon though, Polly.
Mhm.
So like it's a different take on what would happen if things changed. Like they don't have this. They have a similar origin, but like Reed didn't know Ben in college. Johnny, like Sue and Reed knew each other in issue 1 of Life Story, and then obviously Johnny was still her little brother, and he found this pilot at the bar apparently and was like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna bring him." So like Johnny is the one who brought Ben into that fold in that story. It's kind of weird, but it is. I think it's an
it's a weird
honestly
choice.
interesting story.
So
Well, I will check it out for sure, definitely, yeah.
I wonder, are they going to address the elephant? And they won't. But this is just something funny to me. Are they going to address the weird dynamic between Reed and Sue that's been portrayed throughout the comics? You
Of
think
course
they'll cover
not.
that? They're not gonna. Are they gonna make that? Are they gonna make them the same age? Are they gonna make
I
them
think
close to age?
they're gonna make. If anything, she sounds like she sounds more mature than he is. But that's
Oh,
always
that
the
would be
case.
interesting.
Anyway, I don't think that they're gonna do that exact thing with
What? They're not gonna do the thing
boarding
yeah,
house.
where she's 12 and he's in
She's
college,
12, yeah.
and they're not gonna do. What was that Stan or who did? Was that John Byrne? Who the fuck did that?
It was, I think it was John Byrne, and then it was upgraded by God, I think it was Mark Waid who decided that 12 is too young, but 13 is perfect.
I can't, and I like Mark Wade too, but like y'all got just retcon it. It's okay.
And
They are
then
being
Matt
fucking
Fraction,
weirdos.
he decided that it's too weird, all
Yeah,
of it,
like at
and
some
he
point they're
rewrote
just
it.
like, "Yeah, this is strange. Let's not do this.
Let's
let's get away
add
from
a
that."
year to that. Because that was the biggest shock to me, that they decided that 12 is weird, but
I'll say
13 is
this:
perfect.
if for no other this look, at least the Ultimate Universe got this right. They're all geniuses in college or whatever, right? And
Even
they're
Johnny.
yeah. Well, I mean, but
He didn't even finish
well, they're
school.
how about this? They're at least and in Ultimate Comics, I feel like Sue is a bit more accomplished than Reed, and he's trying to prove himself to her or something like that. It's been a while since I read it, but the point is,
Yeah,
they're not.
I'm planning to
Yeah,
reread that
they.
after
The
everything.
point here is that no, they're not going to do the weird shit. Uh,
Well, damn. What are we gonna do then?
we one thing
I'm-
we haven't
okay,
talked about.
I'm sure I will find something that
Yeah,
Reed did.
I mean, Reed. ugh, we can dunk on
Does
him.
things.
We can dunk on him all day. Uh,
Yeah.
we can, but let's. One last thing we hadn't talked about is the person that we didn't see. You know who didn't we see in this?
Silver Surfer?
Well, yeah, we didn't see her, but I mean, by extension, Galactus is there, so we know she's around. No,
Yeah.
we didn't see the number one Reed hater of all time that even eclipses
Oh.
Kali, which is hard to do. It's hard to be more of a Reed hater, but this man manages it, and we did not see him. But he's got to be lurking around, right? Doctor Doom has got to be on somewhere, doing something, because can we all agree he's not in the MCU right now? Like he doesn't exist. Can we agree that Victor Von Doom, as we understand him, is not a thing in the MCU? Right?
Oh, I take it.
I'm not sure. I think that Latveria was, I don't know, was it mentioned at some point or wasn't
They
it?
may have randomly like put the name out there, but like actually existing. Because given everything we've seen in the MCU, and you're telling me Victor Von Doom's just like, nah, I'm good with that. Y'all good. Do what you
homework.
do. He's Doctor Doom. There's no way
he has to study. He has to study science. He has to study magic. He has to like do all this. He has a full plate right now. Okay, have you been to Latveria lately?
I'm just.
It's a mess.
I think that given everything, like Sokovia happened. Now I'm not saying Latvia and Sokovia are like right next to each other, but
actually they are next to each other. They're pretty close.
So in the MCU, so I'd be like,
in the Balkans.
So if Doctor Doom was a real thing in the MCU and that shit happened next door, there ain't no way he's not sending Doom bots out to start like handling business, because that shit was too close to home, right? You got the Avengers running around doing all sorts of shit. Thanos shows up. Wakanda's on the move and shit like that, and they reveal themselves. Talakan's out doing shit. And Doctor Doom's like, y'all do what you do. We're just gonna hang out here. That is not that man. He cannot allow shit like that to happen. He can't. If for no other reason, he'd be like, y'all are fucking up too much. Y'all need help.
He's actually good in this universe. Like he exists and he's actually very good and beloved. And the whole issue, the whole reason people hate him is actually real. What if Doctor Doom that we never got, that is happy and satisfied with his life and never met Reed?
Yeah, I get.
Okay, he's not in it.
I get the feeling that in the MCU he's not around.
No.
So my speculation is that the Doom we're gonna eventually get in the MCU is either from the Fantastic Four's universe, or he's a Doom that comes in from across the multiverse, and they have to contend with him, and that Galactus is just kind of, he's a thing that they got to deal with, but Doom is actually a problem. I wish it was Annihilus, but probably it's Doom. I just wanted to like, do y'all think that the Doom that the MCU eventually gets is gonna be the Fantastic Four's Doom?
I don't know. It has to happen this way because there has to be this connection, this historical connection between him and Reed. Otherwise, it doesn't work. Yeah. But I'm still not entirely comfortable with the casting decisions that they made. It's weird to me. It's weird to me that they make this choice in general, and it kind of takes away from what Doom could be and is supposed to be, but we'll see. We don't know that yet.
I do wonder, because then I don't want to say too much, but in Life Story, Victor is a little bit different. He's still kind of like, you don't see him as much, but he is introduced in the first 1 and 2 issues, if I remember correctly. And Um, they're not necessarily enemies per se in college then, and they don't necessarily hate each other, but like if I remember correctly, Victor wanted to try to like work with Reed. I can't remember exactly at this point, but it's not the same kind of story that we're used to getting. And given that everyone has talked about how the current geez, the current the current
Happy birthday.
I don't even know what I did, but the current RDJ version of Doom isn't whatever they said, right? Everyone's like, oh, he's not Doctor Doom, he's Victor Von Doom, or whatever, or vice versa, whatever someone said, right?
Dr. Doom is Victor Von Doom. Okay.
Correct. But people are manipulating words and trying to believe what they want. So I wonder if, again, that's a different Doom that we're going to get, who's not necessarily, I don't want to say not evil, but not the one that we're used
Like
to.
the Reed Doom in the Ultimate.
Yeah,
Kind of ish, but not. You know what I
Well,
mean?
yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Everybody can be Doom, apparently.
well, or could he be just the
Christoph?
could he be who Tony Stark is in this alternate universe? And
Potentially.
maybe that's why Tony Stark in another universe. I mean, obviously the timelines are weird, but
if they do that, they're gonna just have to do another Mandarin retcon down the line.
Well, I mean, they don't have to necessarily retcon. If this is a alternate universe where Tony Stark, becomes Doom,
Evil.
That's entirely possible because we know that there are alternate universes whose timelines are stretched or weird. Like in What If, we just had an episode of What If where it's the Wild West and you have Kate Bishop and Shang-Chi in cowboy stuff. So it's entirely possible that the timelines can stretch or whatever, or someone, a Tony Stark can come out, be born into this 60s retro future time. And he is, he becomes
in Latveria.
In Latveria, because of just the way the multiverse works. I would accept that. Like I have a choice, but I would accept that that's a thing that happens mainly because then it would square how Tony Stark could be Doom. Like if it's in the MCU, don't make any sense. The regular MCU makes no sense to me. Clearly he's somebody else. If it's a variant, if it's a close,
unless it's not a Tony Stark.
Yeah, but if it's I mean, he may not be called Tony Stark. He's Victor Von Doom, but he's clearly Tony Stark, right? We know and understand that. So I'm fine with that.
Unless we're not gonna see his face.
Yeah, and even if we don't see his, I think they're gonna have. I mean, the thing is, revealing him as Doctor Doom.
They wouldn't show his face, knowing that they've already revealed who he is.
It would have.
Like who the actor is.
They kind of. I understand the whole point of bringing him out and saying he's going to be our Doctor Doom because they're trying to pump up, get people back into it. But that would have been the dopest reveal possible if they just had Doom this whole time in this mask, and then they in a fight and somehow that shit comes off, and they're like. And then he's fighting people who know Tony Stark, and they're like, "Holy shit, what the fuck's Tony Stark doing in this armor?" That'd have been a hell of a reveal. Too late now.
Would have been. I just think that they're going to end up, obviously, with the whole soft reboot eventually. That whoever we're seeing now is not going to be the Doom moving forward, depending on whatever they decide to do. Which I swear to God, if they kill off Doom, I'm going to be so pissed off.
They can't do that.
It's always a Doom bot. Remember the answer to it.
Does America want a war with Latveria? No.
I mean,
then they're not gonna do it.
They can't get rid of Doom because we got to see Wakanda versus Latveria because that's way more. I think Wakanda versus Latveria is way more interesting than anything that any Avengers versus whatever. Like that's cool and all, but like y'all just don't know. I mean, y'all know, you guys obviously know, but viewers, if you ain't seen the comics, there's two nations that Wakanda be going through it, and it's Latveria, and it's really just Doom because you never see, oh man, the whole army of Latveria. No, it's just Doom and his technology. giving T'Challa all the business, and it's Atlantis, and Namor just constantly wanting to have smoke, and I'm like, if I can get those two, dramatized in a movie or something like that, I'll be happy. They can do whatever they want with the MCU from that point on. Because
but like Namor is easy to it's easy to get him distracted. Just make him occupied with.
Just tell Sue to be like, and he'll just be like, you know what?
He's gonna be busy.
Like let me table this.
Then you can send Reed. You can send Reed to occupy Doom. Problem solved.
Hey, you know,
he's already attracted to Shuri right now, so he's got a little thing for Shuri.
But I'm just saying, T'Challa and Sue they're in on good terms. He just like, hey, just throw it at him, just real quick. He'll leave us alone. I forgot there is one other thing. If they ever decide to do the whole Secret Invasion correctly, the Skrulls trying and failing hard to invade Wakanda, that would be another thing I'd love to see. So anyway, I hope we see Doom. That's really the thing. I think we sort of exhausted all of this. I love nerding out about this. I love this trailer. I knew you guys were all on top of it too. I wish we could have gotten a reaction from Polly, but she doesn't have a YouTube channel, so like
I can easily tell you what it was. I usually every time when I watch the trailer for the first time, I'm just quiet and I'm listening to everything really, really carefully. And then I screamed when I saw Galactus, and that was it. Well, I really did. Really screamed because it was amazing. It was what I wanted to see, and it was exactly what I wanted.
And she was like, "Why do I don't want to? I want to hate you, Reed, but Pedro Pascal. I told you. I've been telling you for weeks. I was like, Pedro Pascal, he's gonna get to you. Just watch. Let's do a. I'm not saying a bet, but I feel like when you're done with Fantastic Four First Steps, you're gonna be like, God damn you, Pedro Pascal! How dare you? How dare you make me like Reed?
You ruined my life.
All right.
Gonna be so upset. She's gonna have to turn her Tumblr into a Reed love blog.
It's like maybe I think I may have been wrong. I've been too hasty in my judgment of Reed. 65 years of
They're just gonna have
comics.
to revoke your Reed haters membership club card though, Polly. That's
Dr. Doom is going to personally rip your card up and just throw it away.
I'm gonna change all the cards into like Reed fan club.
You guys, any more thoughts before we sign off on this?
No, I just think they're pulling out all the stops. I mean, we know that this is Feige's baby. He loves the Fantastic Four. Clearly, they're doing all the things right. I mean, they spent a whole hour broadcast of a fake rocket launch, and then had quote unquote a live, who knows if it was actually live, morning show for 10 or 12 minutes before they actually were like, we need to show the trailer before people get pissed off.
Right.
I mean,
and then they did the thing with the hands, where they all put their hands together, and it was like great.
Well, we're all excited. We're waiting for the real trailer, and we're gonna keep nerding out about this. So, what did you guys think about this trailer and our discussion? Chime in down in the comments. Hit me up, supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com, blerd_force1 on Instagram and Threads. Joe, where can they reach you?
I am on YouTube and Threads at Muscles and the Multiverse, and Instagram, technically. Yeah, those are all the spots.
And Polly, where can they reach you?
In Latvia. Okay. But for real, it's Threads, Fanbase, Tumblr, God, what's the other one? Blue Sky. It's everywhere. It's comics. It's either underscore or like so or hyphen. I'm not sure, but you'll find me.
Yep, you guys go check them out. Especially Joe, who's nearing 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. That's dope. Help him get over that line. That'd be cool. But I've been Mo, your comic extraordinaire on all things pop culture, joined by Joe and Polly, and we'll see you guys on the other side of the thread. Peace.